We'll now be able to hear The Pines of Rome, written by, Ottorino Respighi. Hopefully that's right. Arranged by Stephen Beulah. Rome, once the capital of the world, the Roman Empire ruled most of the known world at that time. The March of the Pines of Rome depicts the return home of the Roman Empire, the Roman region. Imagine, if you will, leading 100 soldiers. A centurion would lead them with a wooden staff, and on that staff was their rank. And those were what they called the Pines of Rome. So imagine, if you can, sitting in the great amphitheater of Rome. First, you can only hear the beat of the drums, the creaking of leather, the pounding of thousands of feet upon the dry ground. Gradually, as the sound gets louder and louder, finally to have the triumphal entry of the Roman legions into the amphitheater. These are the Pines of Rome. We'll now hear Lord of the Dance, written by Ronan Hardiman and arranged by Larry Moore. Hardiman was an Irish composer. He's very well known. He actually left his job at the Bank of England to start composing. It was in 1996 that he was commissioned to write Lord of the Dance. The story follows the Lord of the Dance and his fight against the evil Dark Lord Dom Dorkar in taking over planet Ireland. The story is based on an ancient Irish folklore as well as biblical references. It's based on the familiar Celtic tune Shaker's Song. This arrangement is an energetic, exciting style of Celtic fiddling music. It continues to be a hit. It's quite tuneful, rhythmic, and actually it's quite fun to play. So, Lord of the Dance. For our next number, we'll hear from Miss Sinead Saunders, who will sing Danny Boy. This ballad was written by English songwriter Frederick Weatherly and set to the Irish tune of Londonderry Air. There are various theories as to the true meaning of Danny Boy. Some say that it was a parent whose son was going off to war. I don't know where I'm at here. Leaving the Irish, or leaving as part of the Irish diaspora. In some of the later versions, the words were actually written in italics to change. If it was sung by a man, it would be called Ellie Dear, and if it was sung by a woman, it was Danny Boy. And so now we'll hear Danny Boy.
Danny Boy. Who's Danny Boy?
Before we begin our final number for this afternoon, I would just mention that we are always in the need of assistance and would encourage you to become a patron of the arts through either a financial donation or otherwise. That would be greatly appreciated. We also apparently are in need of a new conductor for any that would be interested. I know they're very big shoes to fill, but if you are interested, if you would please maybe talk to Laurie Peterson over there. The final number is the Bacchanal from Samson and Delilah, written by Camille Sasson and arranged by Noah J. Isaac. Samson and Delilah was a grand opera that premiered in the Weimar Theater in 1877. It was actually rejected to premiere in Paris because of its biblical nature, which I thought was very interesting. But the final act, the Bacchanal, is a showpiece in which Delilah leads a wild and provocative dance to taunt Samson. This piece opens with a sensuous flute and clarinet solo before the steady pulse develops in the orchestra. Over the pulse, light woodwinds and strings carry the dance forward with percussion emphasizing the action, as the action turns almost savage. The Bacchanal.
Okay.
that.